Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode. Every episode, I invite you to tune in while I host a different guest to share their experience working in the music industry. My name is Sydney, and this is The Setup. Let me start by introducing you to Zac Hall. Zac has been creating elaborate floral installations for productions, music videos, and Chance the Rapper. You've been one of the teams that created the set on the Late Late Show when he was a guest artist with his brother, and then you created part of the launch of his album, The Big Day, and then more recently, you helped create the music video for We Go High. When and how did your relationship with Chance start?
I was doing brand marketing and I met him backstage at this event that I sponsored in 2013. He signed a poster. Well, he signed a bunch of posters for us, but I kept one. And then so many years later, Joe Esquivel brought me in to the album release event, the big store over this summer. They needed a huge floral installation. I flew in, I think like 14,000 white roses from Ecuador, super fast to get this project moving. And his album had been out for a little bit and he was making a music video for the song We Go High. So that was a real privilege for me to work on. So I art directed that music video again with Joe Esquivel, and then did the live performance as well on the Late Late Show. So they brought that in, and that was a floral installation, which is one of the things that I specialize in. So they brought me in on that project. I was overseas at that point, like trying to make phone calls at odd hours of the night to make sure that I was lined up perfectly. So when I came back to LA for that, I would be like, boom, right in on it. So that was a fun project as well.
And when you were directing the installations and the set for both the music video and the guest appearance on the Late Late Show, where did you pull inspiration from? How did you create both of those sets?
That's a great question. So the process was really different for both. The music video, I was art directing. So the director had an overall vision for where the music video was going. And then I got to just kind of fill in, okay, so there's a bedroom scene. What does it look like? What are we capturing here? What's the art going to be like on the walls? What are we imagining that his apartment looks like at this point in time? Which actually, interesting point, we filmed in the exact same building where he used to live in Chicago during the time period that he's talking about in this song. So that was really kind of a privilege. So that was a lot more of me being able to take free reign on what do I imagine this nightclub to be or whatever. And then with the Late Late Show, that was with Michael Apostolos, I believe is how you say his last name. I'm sorry, Mike, if I said your last name wrong. I should know by now. But he took the lead on design, like the overall concept. He and I kind of went back and forth and had conversations about what it could look like and what's realistic and just like the overall vibe. And then he took the big picture direction on it. And then I took the floral aspect of it. I had never really taken the lead on an installation in Los Angeles yet. So, just finding a studio space, finding a place where I could find exactly the right flowers and get them on time and get them to where we needed to be and find a truck and get it into Hollywood somehow. And those sets, then you have 45 minutes to put the whole set up, so it's it really has to be ready to go. So that process was it took a lot of learning, but that was really fun.
I will provide a link to the music video and Late Late Show appearance because they are both beautiful and Chance sounds amazing. So what sparked your passion for floral arrangements?
I was in college and I would come home from parties drunk as college kids often do, and I would just find flowers on the way and pick them up and go home and arrange them in mason jars or whatever. I would do these really wild, loose arrangements, and I never saw it as art. I didn't even think of myself as creative really until years, maybe 10 years later. I kind of realized that all this while I'd been developing myself as a florist, not with any intention of being a florist. One day the world made me aware that was, that there was a future in that.
Just following that intuition is an amazing thing. I feel like a lot of people don't usually listen to themselves, but I'm really happy for you that it is starting to become some type of career that you actually enjoy.
Yeah, it's crazy because I spent a period of time feeling like I really wanted to chase it and pursuing it through flower shops and stuff, and my spirit got so beat down because I couldn't do it. I just could not function inside of a normal flower shop. The very fundamental thing about my success is that every single project that I do it to the very, very greatest of my ability. Like, really important, because day after day, year after year, that's where your growth happens. And then just not to give up, to follow your own light. Like, I worked at flower shops where they were like basically telling me that I couldn't work there anymore because I just wasn't cut out to be a florist. But what it was that I wasn't cut out to do what they were doing. Like, my work had to come from my heart and my spirit. And so if you have something in your head or your heart, believe in that and follow that and keep doing it, even if people aren't paying you for it, even if, you put it in front of a client and they're like, this is never going to work. That's fine. It's not for them. It's for you ultimately. And the more honest your work is, the more that is going to resonate in the end.
That's something that people need to get reminded. It's so easy just to go with the flow and follow what you think your path should be. But you don't always have to follow the path that others around you are doing, especially when you find so much passion in something that you are doing now. Thank you so much for joining me today. It was a pleasure to have you.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's so great to have something like this to do in the middle of such a trying time.
And thank you all for tuning in. If you like what you hear, please give me a follow or subscribe to stay up to date on all the new episodes I will be rolling out on the Setup podcast. Once again, my name is Sydney, and this was The Setup. See you later, guys.